they are legitimate, that they are the government of Yemen. They aren't just doing Iran's bidding. The war continues to destroy cities and land, and the blockade continues to keep trade out. The Saudis continue to bomb indiscriminately, and with time, 2 million Yemenis are displaced.
Like, Saudi Arabia literally did Israel shit in Yemen for years. There were people who criticized it, myself included. Dude, it is like clockwork. It only, people who are 30-month subscribers are the only people who say this. I'm beginning to recognize a pattern here. Brother, who cares? Brother, who cares, brother? Have you guys noticed what I'm noticing as well? There was another one that I didn't actually point out. It's almost always 30-month plus subscribers that fucking immediately go, dude, I can't believe you got community noted. Yeah, dude, they're fucking Nazis, man. It's the Nazi website. Who cares?
Forced to leave their homes to flee this violence.
150,000 civilians have had no.
But this doesn't stop the Houthis from escalating their offensive. They start attacking Saudi Arabia directly with missiles and drones in their capital city and their civilian airports, using weapons.
They went nutty mode. Bro, they fucking, well, I don't know if they blew up the oil refinery during Formula One, or maybe if, I don't know, it might have come from this side. I'm pointing my mouse on this direction. Who's to say? But it was pretty crazy. That's part of the reason why the Saudis then recognized maybe we shouldn't fuck with the Houthis. Maybe we shouldn't fuck with the Yemen population no more. You're crazy if you believe this stuff? Wait, what? What do you think is happening? Dude, that's awesome. It's like, chatters are like, dude, nothing happened to Yemen. You're crazy if you believe this shit, dude. Your first reaction to being community noted was that of excitement. Then you flip hard for whatever reason. Yeah, because at first it was funny, but it's like annoying when so many chatters care about it and they're like, oh my God, you got community noted. It's a fucking Nazi website filled to the goddamn brim of Nazis. And the fact that people keep repeating it over and over again is fucking annoying. Yeah, to be honest, I usually agree with you on stuff, but I don't know if I can stomach it. The top of the hour ad break is something you have to stomach, okay? Yeah, exactly. Poopy pee-pee man. Yeah, get fucked. Get fucked. Get fucked. I'm half Saudi, and even I don't defend this shit. Chatter has brainworms. Yeah, Chatter's like... Chatters are like, no, you don't understand, bro. Saudi Arabia fucking... If they're America's ally, we're on board. Anyway. Pee-pee poo-poo chatter failed, but it doesn't matter. Although he had to eat the riposte. Ultimately, one thing is unchanging, that there is a 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. For $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. The scale of the Houthi oil refinery attack was kind of amazing. Well, we don't know if it was actually the Houthis. We don't know. We don't know who did it. The Houthis did take credit for it. That was genuinely a change of pace in the conflict in general, where Saudi Arabia was like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Turns out this is costly. This is hella costly for us. Maybe the Houthis were doing it because they were pro green energy. We will never know. Yeah, they read how to blow up a pipeline.
Weapons that most believe are coming from Iran. In December of 2017, the Saudis and the UAE convinced President Saleh to break his alliance with the Houthis and return to power as president of Yemen. They hoped that Saleh, the former dictator, might be able to hold on to power and rule more effectively. Saleh takes the deal and changes sides yet again, breaking with the Houthis and joining the Saudi-led coalition.
Now he's no longer a corrupt dictator. We've decided now he's a, a kind individual who is good, actually.
Fighting breaks out between the Houthis and Saleh's militias, and Saleh is killed just 2 days later. Meanwhile, in the United States, there's a new president. President Trump orders increased drone strikes and...
Some ultra-leftists told me it's Ansar Allah instead of Houthis because it is Ansar Allah. Ansar Allah is like the new coalition that is comprised of both Houthis and other factions as well.
Raids against Al-Qaeda,
So that ultra-leftist
helping
is
government
correct.
forces take back large amounts of territory. Despite the war crimes committed using American weapons, Trump approves more weapons sales to Saudi Arabia to wage this war. And then,
Wait, what? Was he not reluctant?
Then in 2018, the conflict takes on a new dimension. The UAE, who's a part of this Saudi-led coalition, is starting to lose faith in the direction this war is going. They don't like the current government of Yemen, and they're losing soldiers on the ground. It's damaging their reputation on the world stage. So the UAE leaves the coalition, but they still want to influence who will ultimately control Yemen. So they start backing a new group in the south called the Southern Transitional Council, or STC. This group isn't aligned with the government or the Houthis. They're calling for a separation of the southern part of Yemen. They want their own state. They want their own country. So the UAE starts to withdraw their troops from the south of the country, and the STC separatists start taking control of southern provinces. The Saudi coalition is fracturing, and yet another group is jumping into the fighting, showing just how up for grabs Yemen has become. By the fall of 2019, the war has reached maximum complexity. You've got the Saudi coalition backing the former government.
So complex, bro. American-backed coalition forces did a genocide in Yemen against the popular uprising comprised of both the Houthis and many other groups against the corrupt dictatorship. These groups, in their domestic affairs, aren't exactly woke either. They were, however, definitely anti-imperialist. These groups also got funding and facilitation from Iran as a consequence of the coalitions that were attacking Yemen. Who were the coalitions that were attacking Yemen? Well, the Saudi government, American imperialism's very own brown face in the region, UAE as well. It is not that complex. It is yet another instance where we are talking about the genocidal ambitions of America and their allies in a very important part of the fucking country, very important part of the planet for international trade. That's it. It's not complex. Hey, man, I'm trans and I think I decided to vote for Trump. Shut up. You do this every fucking day, dude. You do this every day. Shut the fuck up. We know you're not actually trans and we know you're not. Actually, you might actually be a Trump voter. You do this literally every fucking day. Stormy Echoes, you literally come into the chat every goddamn day to fucking troll. Okay? Every day. I haven't banned you. I should. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just shut the fuck up. Just take a day off. Okay. Every fucking day. Chatters know your name. Why is chat laughing? Wait, what do you mean? Why is chat laughing? We're laughing because we see Stormy Echoes every day try to do new fucking baits. While we are Yemen maxing at the top of the hour. Wait, we'll do that later. I got accused of being a spy in a Palestinian protest. Wait, what?
Government of Yemen, mostly relegated to the east of the country, the UAE is now backing this separatist movement in the south, who are fighting against the former government of Yemen. The Houthis, backed by Iran, still maintain majority control of the major cities in the north. Al-Qaeda and its militia allies are still fighting to control small slices of the country, and the US continues to conduct airstrikes against Al-Qaeda and ISIS, while supporting and selling more weapons to the Saudi coalition. Yemen is fracturing further, and if there's any hope for peace, power needs to be consolidated. So Saudi Arabia and the UAE make amends, and then together they convince the government of Yemen and the separatists in the south to form a new coalition.
I just don't understand. I don't understand. Only one of these groups is not an internationally sanctioned and you know, well, I guess I was going to say it's not an internationally sanctioned terrorist organization, but they do consider the Houthis to be terrorists, or at least Trump did. Joe Biden took them off the list and then said he's going to put it back on. But only one group is comprised primarily of the Yemen population and is led by the Yemen population, which is the Houthis. The other guys are fucking assholes who are aligned with foreign with foreign nations in the region. I don't understand it.
To fight against the Houthis together as a united front. But it doesn't stop the Houthis, who are getting really good at fighting and are firing more Iranian missiles and drones.
It's weird how you present Iran's actions as are anti-imperialist when they're doing similar moves to Erdogan with funding Islamic Brotherhood in the region. Yeah, Iran's actions are anti-imperialist. It's just the reality. They're the ones who are literally fucking funding and offering logistics and trading to popular uprisings against imperialist forces. So yes, what they are doing is anti-imperialist. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day, even if you don't fucking agree with them or not. And I don't know if you are actually a Saudi chatter or not, considering that you always bring up the fact that, why don't you mention the history of the region's Western resistance? Saudi Arabian king was assassinated when he made OPEC with Iran to cut oil to the West, pressure against weapon shipments to Israel. Then Iran regime change and Egyptian socialist anti-imperialist presidents. Focusing on Iran makes it seem like Iran now doesn't have imperialist actions in the region like everyone else. And after resisting the West was made impossible. The reason why I talk about Iranian action in like both Yemen and Iranian action in Gaza or in the Palestinian Party is that because they are the only game in fucking town when it comes to genuinely resisting against American imperialism and its influence and its most violent actions. Osama bin Laden is an anti-imperialist? Yeah, definitely. That's why he was he's such an anti-imperialist. That's why he was armed and trained by both the Saudi kingdom and also by America. You know, a rabid anti-communist. Ultimately, Iran doesn't have to imagine a world where American involvement exists in their country. They lived in it. And if they want to be reminded of how shitty things can be, they could just look to every other fucking regional actor. Same with Cuba and American involvement in Latin American countries.
Into Saudi Arabia, hitting state-owned oil refineries and threatening to drive up oil prices globally. By January 2021, the Houthis, a group started to provide religious summer camps to young men, are now battle-hardened and they control 70 to 80% of the population of Yemen. Later that year, the UN announces that approximately 20 million of those people are dependent on humanitarian aid for their daily needs. And at this point, the war starts to settle in to an uncomfortable stalemate. In April 2022, the UN brokers a ceasefire, and the fighting stops.
At worst, you might say that Iran is aggressively expanding its sphere of influence. You can't even call them irredentists because they never try to claim any more territory. Yeah. Iran is a regional actor with its sole purposes as foreign policy, trying to end American involvement and interference. Iran's foreign policy beyond that, or Iran's interest beyond that, certainly could be the implementation of like a Shia-style control similar to Iran in other countries where Shias do exist. But that is not the point. That's neither here nor there. That is insignificant in the grand scheme of things. You don't believe that yourself? What do you mean? Everyone knows that Americans got rights in America when that one foreign superpower came in and blew the place up. Yeah. The irony, of course, is that Iran would be in a dramatically different place if America did not interfere in Iranian politics during the Mossadegh era, because British Petroleum thought it was completely unacceptable that their refineries were seized by the Iranian government after Iran decided to nationalize its oil production. If you don't want Iran to gain more prominence in the region, then don't fucking blow up the entire region. Iran never nationalized their oil production until 1979. Iran moved to nationalize their oil production, and that was a bridge too far for British Petroleum. That is the reason why they went to the CIA. Or OSS, I guess, at the time. Or no, I guess it was CIA at that point.
Stops. Behind the scenes, Saudi Arabia and Iran have been in diplomatic talks, sponsored by China. Regional tensions are cooling, which means that their proxy war in Yemen.
Damn, put some respect on it. Put some respect on it. Let's run that part back, dude.
Iran have been in diplomatic talks, sponsored by China. Regional tensions are cooling, which means that their proxy war in Yemen is also cooling. Saudi Arabia has had enough of the fighting. President Hadi resigns and hands power over to a council meant to govern Yemen and manage the war, and both sides are tired of the fighting. So when that ceasefire is set to expire in October 2022, the conflict mostly stays quiet, even without a new agreement. By 2023, Saudi Arabia and Iran have officially restored their diplomatic relations. Saudi Arabia hoping that this means Iran will stop supporting Houthis to attack their southern border. But the Saudis keep their maritime blockade around the country, making life in Yemen unlivable for millions. But at this point, the heaviest of the fighting on all sides has stopped. But then, in the fall of 2023, the Houthis were back in the news. After the Palestinian group Hamas launches a brutal attack into Israel,
Bro, oh, where's that chatter? Guts team. Iran had no problem working with NATO to destabilize Iraq, Afghanistan for its own ambitions. Hell, it didn't even have an issue with taking Israel support against Saddam. This whole anti-imperialist narrative is just a response to being kicked out of the club, just like Russia. Not gonna lie, you're way off the mark here. Iran is hated in the region for its Shia expansionist goals. I don't think you're understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth. I literally openly mentioned that while there is Shia expansionist momentum from Iran, Iran at times has even reduced its support to Hamas. There would be no Hezbollah. There would be no Hezbollah. There would be no force of popular resistance against Israel in Lebanon. There would be no force of popular resistance in Palestine against Israel without Iran helping them. If you don't want Iran to have more power in the region, then don't fuck with the region. That's what I'm saying. And no, Iran didn't refuse to work with America and NATO in Iraq and Afghanistan. That is correct. It is absolutely correct. He's not wrong. You are wrong if you think that Iran did not offer direct targets, direct al-Qaeda targets to America. They did. Iran also literally fought ISIS in these regions as well. So you are wrong. That chatter is right, but not in the way that he is framing the issue. That's why it's so funny when Americans are like, dude, fucking Iran, dude. Fucking Iran, they're part of that axis of evil, baby. What the fuck? Yeah, let's give them hell. It's like, bro, Iran, even after being put on the axis of evil list by that same dipshit that we were listening to earlier today, chirping about the civility of American Congress, still continued to offer targets to American security forces in the region. Yeah, like the time they wanted to ally with the U.S. to allow them to carry their imperialism, but Israel refused. But I agree with you. The current imperialist regime is a direct result of Western expansion. Wait, what? They wanted to ally with the U.S. to allow them to carry their imperialism, but Israel refused. Okay, that I'm confused as to what you're saying. It's not like Iran is wholeheartedly in support of Palestinian emancipation beyond utilizing popular Palestinian resistance groups to destabilize Israel. If they were legitimately interested in defending the Palestinians and engaging in Palestinian emancipation, they would have fucking rocketed Israel on October 8th, okay? It is a reality that the Palestinians are aware of as well, or at least the resistance groups are aware of as well, which is why they didn't even collaborate with the Iranian government on October 7th. A fact, by the way, that was reasserted by the Iranian government, the Israeli government, and the American government. Anyway.
Israeli military invades the Gaza Strip, vowing to destroy Hamas and free the hostages that they took. The campaign leads to tens of thousands of Palestinian civilian deaths, and it provokes a response from...
Yeah, Iran and Hamas had a brief pause in their allegiance. I don't know if it was, I guess it was between 2011 and 2017. I don't remember the exact details, but I do know that they're not like when people try to say that like Hamas is being directed by Iran, or when people try to say that Ansar Allah is being directed by Iran, that is not correct. Okay? These can be considered Iranian proxies to some degree, as long as their interests are aligned. Hamas originally, and still is, by the way, a Sunni group, for the record. They're not even, Hamas itself is not even a fucking Shia group. They're Sunni. It is originally a fucking, oh shit, Aldani Marki. Imperialism in the Marxist sense would, at the very least, presuppose some sort of profit incentive. Iranian support for various armed groups in the region is at best a net negative for the Iranian economy. They're losing money on this. Iran having relations with non-state actors, funding them and supporting them is not imperialism. Iran is bleeding money through this policy. I would probably agree with the argument that Iranian influence in Iraq has been for the worse, but to speak of Iranian imperialism in Yemen is far-flung lunacy with no basis in reality. Holy shit. What's up, Alden Markey? Is this the same person? From Twitter? Yes, lol. Respect. Yes. Iranian interest in the region is born out of anti-American imperialist desires. That's it. 100%. And there have been times when Iran has withdrawn support or even refused to support to the degree that they claim they would if Israel violated red lines. Remember, Iran only struck Israeli soil after Israel tried to open up another front of war against Iran in an effort to possibly bring America into the fold in a more meaningful capacity. Iran did not strike Israel after Israel violated previously set red lines that Iran had never really enforced because they never technically had to. Iran struck Israel after Israel struck the Iranian consulate compound. Okay? That should at least have make you, understand what the Iranian ambition is here.
Iranian-backed groups all throughout the region. The Houthis are one of those groups. They launch drones and cruise missiles into southern Israel, vowing that their attacks won't stop until the invasion of Gaza stops. And then they start firing their missiles and drones at cargo ships that are traveling through the Red Sea, where 25% of container traffic travels, a major artery in our global economy. In the days after these missiles start flying, traffic through this Red Sea route declines by 73%. In response, the US and UK shoot down Houthi missiles and drop bombs on Houthi military targets in Yemen, pulling the US and its allies deeper into this enduring conflict. The reason I wanted to tell you the story...
Yeah, America was they forced America's hand again, dude. It's just so crazy. The other side of this is never mentioned. Israel, no power whatsoever in the Israel small being. America also small being. Poor America had its hand forced. It's just like the brave people of Yemen across the board, which is united on this front, by the way, which people should remember when talking about Yemen. The most uniting principle for the entire country that was under insane blockade and genocide, what united everyone, including those who fought previously against Ansar Allah, was what was happening in Gaza. America could get Israel to stop doing a genocide in Gaza. They could. They just choose not to and then act like the only mechanism of enforcement that they have is by attacking anyone and everyone that has something to say about the genocide in Gaza. Iran by no means is a wonderful country. The Iranian government, I mean. Iran is a wonderful country. It's a beautiful country with beautiful people in it. The Iranian government, on the other hand, is not necessarily a great government at all. It's just that America, with its actions, is leaving more people to look at Iran in a different way. You don't think cooperation doesn't come with some sort of unequal exchange? I'm not saying America good. I'm not saying America good. I'm saying get your money up, not your funny up. What? You can say the beautiful people part again. It's true.
Of this conflict in Yemen